Welcome to my channel, Let's Talk. Tonight's topic is the allegations against Clifford and Tamika Harris, also known as T.I. or Tip, and Tamika. T.I. is a rapper, and Tamika, his wife, is a singer. Many people are up in arms about this situation. The allegations involve coercion, trafficking, human trafficking, drugs, violence. I think what some of us need to look at is the standards. What are the standards that need to be met for consent? Number one. Let's take it for granted that if someone is underage, they cannot give consent. Let's take it for granted if someone is inebriated, drunk, under the influence of alcohol, they cannot give consent. Even if they gave consent to participate in taking drugs or alcohol, once they're under the influence, their capability and ability to give consent has been diminished and therefore is not valid. It does not stand to be, how should I say this? It doesn't stand to be true. So, to me, it appears that a person is innocent until proven guilty. It also appears to me that a person who says no should not be forced. It also appears to me that no one should be taken against their will. It also appears to me that standards of expectations for people who have a higher level of economic status in society appears to be different than the standards for those who are on the lower rung of the economic ladder. These are the things that I think we should talk about. We should take a look and scrutinize very seriously the type of society that we're building or tearing down. Is there a level of morals for different groups of people? And if there is, why? Is not doing wrong the same for everyone? If you do wrong, is it not wrong? If I slap your grandmother, isn't it wrong? If you slap my grandmother, isn't it wrong? What about the vulnerable? Not just the grandmothers, the seniors, or elderly, children, women, men. Some men are vulnerable too. So, what is the standard of moral requirements that we are going to have to make sure that everyone understands? Because it appears that there is some conflict over that. Some people feel that they're being set up. Others feel that because they're rich, they think they can do anything to anyone. But there must be a set standard that is required by everyone so there's no confusion. Because evidently there's a fluctuation in that standard. And I think it's high time that there not be a fluctuation in the standards that are required for people to conduct themselves, how people should behave. There are laws of the land that if it's good for the goose, it should be good for the gander. If it's good for the horse, the mare, should be good for the stallion. Regardless. And if we had not in a polygamous society or polyandrous society, then we must stick by the rules and laws of the land. If it's monogamy, then it's monogamy. So, what are the standards that must be met in order for us to move forward as a society of morals, as a society that is going to be safe for everyone? Because if you're not there in a situation, you don't know. Although your emotions may be invested in certain celebrities, you really don't know unless you were there. Either which way. Now, if people are complaining and have provided testimony, that's evidence. It is evidence of a written form, primary source that cannot be disregarded. The same if your child came and told you something was done to them. It should not be disregarded. How else is a society, a civilization, going to develop its citizens unless there are standards that must be met and be code of behaviors that must be expected of all? So this is a very hot topic, and it's a topic that should be discussed. It involves human trafficking, it involves coercion, it involves drugs, it involves violence, and if we're not condoning that type of code of conduct, then that is what has to be established. A safe community where consequences are meted out fairly and equally. So I encourage you to think about the issues at hand, not to consider the fact that we're dealing with celebrities, but consider the fact that there are allegations and is there truth to these allegations, not to attack people who feel that they have been wronged. Is there truth? And if there is truth, then what are the evidentiary requirement that must be met in order to move these complaints forward to the next stage? And what is the next stage? Is the evidence, the requirements of evidence present to give a conviction? So some people feel there should not be any settlement being made. People have rights to their opinion. People have a right, if they feel they're wrong, to have their wrong heard and have it corrected or have retribution or restitution and punishment, if such is the case. So we have to think about the kind of society and community that we want to build and create for the future. And I implore you, instead of looking at economic status, thinking that someone will not do something that we don't know whether they'll do it or not, we should look at what do we expect of the behavior of everyone. Because, honestly speaking, are we in a polyandrous, are we practicing polyandry where women have more than one husband? Are we in a polygamous society where men have more than one wives? Are we in a monogamous society where it's a husband and a wife? Do we have laws of adultery that are in place? These are the standards that should be met as well. Because understanding consent is a simple thing. For some of us, for others, it's not. And that's something that we should look at. Why would someone think that if you say no, it's not no when the law strictly states these are the requirements in order for someone to give free will, have the capacity to give a free will consent? Let's not get emotional. Let's think about moving our community, our society, our civilization forward in the best of ways, people. Thank you for your time. Like, share, subscribe, and please leave a comment. Peace and blessings.